We may be live again. Hello, hope you can hear me. Everything failed on my end, I'm afraid, guys. Everything went to pot. So load up them questions, guys. Sorry for those who are watching the second part of this. Apologies, going to start. Unfortunately, everything just absolutely fucking died on me. And it might again. I don't know what the issue is. I do not know what the issue is at the moment. But yeah, I'm having a few technicals, guys. So if this dies again, apologies, but I'll run through as best I can. Hello, Edwin Guan, Joe Finley Batter, Cartit Rail, which two to bench? Apologies for those who missed the questions. I don't know if I can even get the questions off the other chat, which I'd like to obviously do for you. I don't think that it's probably synced into YouTube yet. Otherwise, I will get the old questions back up so I can cover people off. What a fucking pain in the arse. Oh, you bastards. You bastards. Right, I might be able to get the questions from the old stream, guys. So if you ask a question on the other stream and you're asking it again now, please delete it, would be brilliant. I will try and go through these. Spread the word would be very kind of you that there's a new stream. I'm not going to have time to do that at the moment. Right, let's see if I can catch up on this. Oh, there's so many. Nah, I'm not going to be able to get them, guys. Right, I'm going to have to go as we were from the start. Apologies to everybody whose question I've lost from the earlier stream. Apologies, it's a bit of a mare being in two places at once, I'm afraid. Right, Cartit Rail, which two to bench? Cancelo, Watkins, Welbeck, KWP, Cresswell. Which two to bench? Definitely not Watkins, play him. Welbeck, play. KWP, play. Play them three. J23 says, hey, Richard Benson, hi James Bamford or Che Adams until Christmas. Until Christmas, I go Bamford, mate. Noel says, I need a good defender for 5 million or less. Who do you suggest? I was thinking Konsa, Lamptey, Dyer, Soufal. Konsa was one I answered earlier, Noel, so I'd go with that. Joe Finley Batter says, ha, 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 stand alive, stand alive. Edwin Guan, Foden or Jota out first? Toss a coin. Foden's ended up... I'm going to go Foden to Jota this week, was my original plan, right? So Foden's ended up sitting there now, and I'll play Foden in midweek. I'm assuming Foden doesn't start at Manchester United, hence he's second on my bench. So he's probably sell Jota first, unbelievably. There's every chance Jota gets starts like Palace next week. He could even, as I said, play Sunday as well. Adam says, hi James, bench Dallas or Cancelo. I'd bench Dallas, mate. Scott Bottom says, hi James, Bruno and DCL for Salah and Bamford for a -4. Yeah, I feel better about it now than I would have done this morning, Scott. Don't hate it. Edwin Guan, best midfielder under 7.6. I don't know what price. Grealish is 7.7, isn't he? So you're under there. I'd come right down. Honestly, I'd come right down to like Rafinha. Jay Lodge says, hello mate, would you do Saiss, Jota and Jimenez to Robertson, Trent, Rafinha and Bamford, Wilson? Oh, so Robertson or Trent. Yeah, I'd get those moves done actually, mate. I quite like that. Top man, have a great birthday. Cheers. Yeah, and the preference would be Trent and Bamford. So Trent, Rafinha and Bamford would be the choice. Don't mind that at all. Daniel Lambert says, should I play Martinez or Meslier? And should I play Foden and Jota over Ayling? Already have Dallas playing, so I'd rather not play a Leeds triple up defensively. The thing with Ayling and Souček for me wasn't this well documented Leeds problems with set pieces. Yep, well aware. I've taken the decision that I think it's more likely that Leeds keep a clean sheet and Souček himself has a physical return. That's the decision that I've made. I've obviously therefore picked Ayling or Foden because I'm very confident he wouldn't play Ayling over Jota. Little bit more risky, I would suggest. I probably would go Ayling out of fear, actually. Martinez or Meslier is tougher. I'd maybe go Meslier, actually. Alden Björk, evening James. Which two would you start out? Zuma, Ayling, Lamptey and Soufal. The first two, mate. Would you rank them in that order for this game week? Okay, if I rank them in order, I'd rank them in the order that you've written them. Rob Tilson, no worries, man. Billy Lowe, Diaz to Trent this week, -4. Or Trent and Rafinha in next week for Ward and Jota out. Prefer the weight, I think, Billy. Prefer the weight, personally. Chris Woods, hi James, why Ayling over Souček? Perfect timing, just answered that. Super Tiger, why is Sheffield United having such a poor season? Should be targeting their fixture, particularly from a defensive position. Look, if you've got a Southampton defensive player, you're definitely playing them this week. Whether it's Vestergaard, Bednarek, Bertrand, McCarthy, Walker Peters are in your team. That's fairly standard and obvious. So, I mean, yeah, you can target that, but then Southampton's next to Arsenal, Manchester City. You still want to be targeting those defensive players then. So there's a bigger picture than just one game, isn't there? Miller Marsh says, yo, James, is Neto a good option for the next few weeks? It's not for me. There's too much unpredictability in them at the moment. I need to see something from them. Again, I have no idea how they play system-wise tomorrow. Whether they play a back 4 or go to a back 5 again. I think they'll be better with a back 5. So not of any interest to myself personally at the moment. Victor Sandberg, would you play Cresswell or Souček? Good luck this game week. I would play Souček over Cresswell. Himanshu, DCL to Ings, good option. Yep, not bad. I'd say listen earlier in the stream, but it's the fucking stream that died already, isn't it? Castigator OP, who to play, Lamptey or Souček? Souček. Patrick Lawson, hi again. I'll repeat my question as it died. Sorry, Patrick. Would you sell one of Soufal or Target? Have Martinez, who are my third and fourth defender, for one of Diaz and Matic ahead of game week 13. I'm going to guess, therefore, because I've answered this in fully, Patrick, I'm going to guess that nobody heard that. Brilliant. I said that I wouldn't sell either of them because Soufal and Target have brilliant fixtures in game week 13. What I mentioned earlier about West Ham's possible double game week, well, almost certain double game week in 19, means if you haven't got that, if you don't intend on using the first or second wild card before that period, you should be keeping hold of West Ham defensive, in my opinion. Villa have a really good free fixtures afterwards. I would not move either of them. Those two, if I had them, Patrick, I'd be looking for them to be my fourth and fifth defenders, and then you're choosing week to week to play. And 13, you're going to have a headache, but you don't need to target Diaz or Matic for midweek, mate. Think about it afterwards. Meninda says, Sky question. Do you like DCL to Bamford move anymore with Everton injury news to cap Bamford tonight? And Dallas or Gabriel to Zuma tomorrow. Good luck in all formats this weekend. Good luck to you too. DCL to Bamford move. No, I don't like that with the lack of gain on it personally. I'm not keen. Bamford was one. That's a move that I made 2 game weeks ago to get. That's not true actually. Was it last week? I made the move recently anyway. I went DCL to someone else in the week, but I got Bamford in a couple of weeks ago again to get the gain on Leeds. This isn't a good gain. This isn't a good gain. Have a look, Meninda, to see if there's someone you can come off Tuesday to get to Bamford Wednesday. You might actually find you want to captain Bamford on Wednesday. If you've already got captaincy coverage, it's a definite no-go. So if you've got Dallas, Ayling, anything West Ham other than Antonio, it's a definite no-go. I'm just not keen on it. I don't like these moves where you don't get the gain on the fixture, unfortunately, mate. Andrew Moore, start Semedo or Ayling. More difficult one. I would probably just go Semedo. That's a tough one. What I would say about Ayling, those who listen to the regular podcast and know I've been saying attacking return imminent for quite a while with Luke Ayling. He's going to play centre-back. That's off the table now. If you ask me, I expect Leeds and Wolves both to concede 1 is where I would rank it up this week. So it's probably the same thing. You're more likely, oddly enough, possibly to get an attacking return out of Semedo now, unless something happens injury-wise and Ayling goes back to fullback during the game. Really tough call. I'd go Semedo. Anil says start Ayling or Taylor, also own Dallas. Is that Charlie Taylor? Let's calm down about Arsenal, guys. I reckon Arsenal might be the highest scorers this game week. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang second on that captaincy list, and it's no joke. So definitely Ayling over Taylor. You also own Dallas. That doesn't make a difference playing both, mate. Joe Finley Bader struggling between the 2 big Ds. Dallas or Diaz. What for selection? I found a solution to that, Joe. Play both. But it would have been Diaz over Ayling for me. So Diaz is what I'd go for, mate. Don't like leaving out defensive players from Manchester City or Liverpool in any game. David McCann says, would you bench Soufal or Diaz? You'll know the answer, David. It'll be bench Soufal. Vabe Meta says Vardy and Jota to Salah and Welbeck for a -4 long-term move. It's a long-term move, mate. You crack on. Rohan S says Mount for Jota for a -4 and keep him till New Year. Mate, have a second look at Chelsea's fixtures and Liverpool's fixtures. Not for me. Perlo's pen. James, with no Trent and Salah captain this season is weird. Good luck this week as usual. Yeah, but you know why I haven't got Trent? I haven't got Trent because Trent got injured. And you know what? If Trent had never got injured, it may well be that I'd landed this week with Trent captain. The only thing I could have done to get Trent this week would have been DCL to Bamford and then get Trent in for Nico Williams. And I did think about it for a -4, but I couldn't justify that over the Salah 1-3 transfer. I really couldn't. So but those might be the moves. It might now be DCL to Watkins for me in a week. Or so it might be Kane to Watkins in the week, and then Nico Williams to Alexander-Arnold the week after. That's part in the thinking at the moment. Don't think Trent is out of my mind, because he ain't. TJ Dara says, evenings, James, would you play DCL versus Chelsea or Souček versus Leeds? DCL has 11 goals this season, mate. DCL. I'm never going to be in this position where someone says to me, oh, shall I leave out X player? So I spoke about Newcastle's problem. Someone says to me, shall I play Wilson or Souček? The answer's going to be Wilson. Someone says to me, Bamford or Souček? The answer's going to be Bamford. It almost doesn't matter which one of them options that you give me, I'm going to pick the attacking one. I'm trying to think of a good example where I wouldn't. If you've still got Mitrovic, I'm going to say Souček, for example, but Mitrovic won't play. If you said to me Chris Wood or Souček, I would say to you Chris Wood. Honestly, so and these are going to be my answers for these sort of questions every week. Play the forward, guys. James says, evening, Justin to Dyer, good long-term move. It might be, but maybe not in the short term. Look, Spurs still have a rough 3 fixtures after this Palace game, right? And they won 5-1 last week, so I wouldn't be in any great rush to make that move. Spurs' defensive assets, in spite of what's happened recently, are not in my thinking at the moment. Excuse me. T. Robinson, hi James. Play Soufal or Diaz. I think I might have already had that one, but it's played Diaz. J23, bench 1. Walker Peters, Chilwell, Cancelo or Dyer. That's quite a tough one. I would definitely play Chilwell. I don't like leaving out the Man City asset, as I've spoken about. I would bench Eric Dyer, honestly. Miles Impet says Mane in and captain for Sterling, or just captain KDB and roll the transfer and get Salah down the road. I'm going to say roll the transfer, Miles. You might feel better for it come Tuesday, mate, when you're sitting Sterling and De Bruyne in your team ahead of West Brom at home. William Jones says, hi James, hope you're okay, mate. Who would you play alongside Chilwell and Ayling? Diaz, Lamptey or Cresswell? You know what the answer is going to be, William. It's Diaz. Have Bruno and KDB in the derby and Bamford tonight. I hope this makes sense. It does. I've answered it. Jack Benzie. Hi, James. Mahrez and Vardy to Salah captain and Watkins worth a -4. Yeah, not a bad one. Not a bad one. You don't really want to be selling Jamie Vardy this week, in my opinion, but it's not a particularly bad one. Craig Gardner says, hello, Harry. Craig Gardner says, hi, got to get rid of Ziyech. Probably a hit. Ziyech to Salah and Mahrez to Rafinha or Click on penalties, but favour Rafinha. You've answered your own question, Craig. Congratulations. Super Tiger, start Conser or Taylor. What? People really think they're starting Burnley defenders away to Arsenal. I know they've been shit, but let's calm down a little bit, guys. Jovial said, should I transfer in Christian Benteke for Antonio? I have Bamford and Wilson already. The answer to that is no, by Ollie Watkins. FPL Warrior, who to bench out of Dallas, Lamptey and Soufal? Joe, if you're asking the question, because if it's 5.5 is what you've got, but if you're selling Antonio, you should be able to get the Watkins, I think. FPL Warrior, who to bench out of Dallas, Lamptey and Soufal? I'll play Dallas out of the 3 of them. Bevan, I think I answered your question on the previous stream. I would go Jota over McGinn. Jassim Jazz. Hi James, starting Jota. What should be subsequence? Lamptey, Taylor and Gordon. Advanced birthday wishes. Thanks. That order, mate. FPL Ralph, can you explain Johnson over Martinez's decision? Yes, I can. Very close. The intention prior to buying Johnson last week was to play Johnson in this fixture anyway. The fact that Wolves' uncertainty is a little bit concerning now, but so obviously is the Newcastle team. Newcastle could have such a Mickey Mouse team on the pitch tomorrow. I actually think West Brom will beat them. If you want a shock tip for the weekend, that's it. So that's why I'm going for Johnston. Miles says, hey James, how do you think Crystal Palace Tottenham unfolds? What score do you predict? We'll go 1-0 Tottenham. I think it will be an awful watch. If your family's invited you round for plans on Sunday at 2:15, don't let them down. Go and do it. It won't be a good game of football. I'm fairly certain of that. So I think it'll be tight. First goal absolutely critical, as it is in pretty much all Tottenham games now as well. So yeah, I expect 1-0 Spurs. It'll be ugly. Tan May says, hey James, what about Mason Mount as a differential since he's gone a little bit under the radar? Yeah, don't mind it. The thing is, I mean, a lot of the returns are coming from set pieces, and I think it's become very well documented that Chelsea are strong, both offensively and defensively on set pieces at the moment. They've only conceded 5 headed attempts, I believe, this season, Chelsea, which is more than half less of anybody else. Really impressive, and it's well documented what Zuma's doing on the set pieces and stuff as well. So teams are going to start looking at it. Everton have a few units. You can certainly predict that Yerry Mina will play for Everton tomorrow and try and get hold of Zuma. That'd be an interesting battle between the two of them. So it's not for me. But what I would say about him is he is playing extremely well at the moment. I would say that about him. Bloomer says, your thoughts on Jose Mourinho winning Manager of the Month? Not my decision. I mean, to be honest, seems fairly reasonable, I think. What was the results? Beat West Brom, beat Man City, drew away at Chelsea. Seems reasonable, I guess. Not often a Manager of the Month will only score 4 goals in a month and win it, by the way. That's a lie, isn't it? 3 goals. Another Hoops. Good luck this week, mate. I won't ask about Jota, but I will ask Dyer or Davis. Good lad. Eric Dyer as ever, mate. John O'Brien. Hi, James. Jamal Lewis worth starting versus West Brom or not, given Newcastle's COVID issues. Look, if you've got that player, you play him. I think like if you've landed on Jamal Lewis or Federico Fernandez or any of these Newcastle defensive players, if you've got Cole Darlow for whatever reason, then I think you play them, and it is what it is. It's as simple as that. If I had Jamal Lewis, I'd play him, and it will be what it will be. Static says, Legend James, thanks for all you do, and I hope the family as well. They are. Thank you, mate. Need to move James Rodriguez to someone for a week. I have Grealish and Souček. Should I get Jota, Rafinha, Bowen, anyone else? 7.6 for 1 week. I'll tell you what I don't mind as a shout, genuinely, if this is for 1 week, is Bukayo Saka as a 1 week. Don't mind that at all. Stuart Armstrong is a name I'll put into the hat for that as well. So you're probably coming down in value. That those are kind of like just mentioned, saying Mason Mount and that. I'm not liking the players in that value at the moment. Eulogio, Sterling and DCL out for Salah, captain, and Bamford for -4. I'll never be able to sell these Spurs boys, will I? Good luck, mate. You'll find it easier after this week. I might as well. Callum says, have you heard this song, James? No. Henry Martin, Nico and DCL to James and Bamford. Yeah, not bad that, particularly getting Reece James. You'll hate it if DCL scores in that game, but yeah, don't mind that, Henry. Nico was nice for a little while, but the time's obviously up on that. Doesn't mean you have to sell, but he's last on the bench now, mate. Miles Impet says, what do you think will take for Bale to find his top form, and how long does it take? Really like the Maradona pod. Excellent content, guys. Thanks for that, Miles. A little bit of effort went into that Maradona pod, so I appreciate that, mate. I think it's up to Gareth Bale. I spoke about this last week on one of the streams. I think he's playing with fear, and I don't know why. But fitness-wise, he is so far off. Personally, I'd have left him on the pitch yesterday, even though he wasn't playing well. Get 90 minutes in his locker. So I look at the games now and I think, when's he going to play? When's he going to have the opportunity? Does he play at Stoke in a couple of weeks? I guess he probably does. Does Mourinho even want to chance it? That's a different matter. He's so far off at the moment, honestly. Christopher Guinness says, evening mate, Diaz or Zuma, keep up the good work. That's a more difficult one. Because it's not a Diaz versus a Sufal or something like that. I'd possibly go Zuma. But if you've got DCL, I'd go the all-in strategy and maybe go Diaz. Tougher one, that. Tougher one. Just individually, one-on-one, I'd probably prefer Zuma this game week. FPL Ralph says Cresswell or Souček. Who gets more points tonight? Souček gets 2 points and Cresswell gets 1. Perlo's Pen, are you confident in the Johnson over Martinez call? I have the same decision, gone Johnston. Am I confident? No, but that's the decision I've made, mate. Heavy Finger 7, hey James, who would you leave on the bench? Grealish, never. Diaz or Che Adams. I mean, from them, by default, it has to be Diaz. Bless you for the squad you've got, mate. Savanch says, Jota to Bowen Rafinha? Question. Don't mind the Rafinha move if it's for free. Rhinos Leeds. Hi James, loving the Orb captain pick. Stats and eye tests say, God no. He has 7 goals, 1 assist in his last 5 starts for Burnley. Thanks very much for adding that for me, mate. You know I'm not one particularly for the stats. Anders Brogard, thanks for being a legend. Who would you bench out of Aylin, Justin and Conser? I'd play Justin. Aylin or Conser? I feel like I did this one earlier and really struggled. I'd go Ayling. Shamil Galani, my friend, don't have any of the top 6 in your captaincy. I'm screwed, lol. Vardy captain it is. Why do you think Sterling out for Salah is a good move? I mean, I'm not sure if that's the question that you meant to ask, Sham, but it's Sterling to Salah. It was quite straightforward at the moment, isn't it? The problem is, in the midweek, there's every chance you might want to reverse that, especially, if Sterling didn't play at Old Trafford tomorrow. But it seems fairly straightforward, really. Sterling to Salah. If that's a free transfer, mate. I didn't want to sell Bruno Fernandes. It was fairly obvious, really. Savant says DCL to Bamford for a -4. Bought him at 7.5. Then you can wait, I think, mate. No, not for a -4. David Brassel, don't have Liverpool, but Vardy and Mahrez to Bamford and Salah -4 feels crap. Then don't do it, David. Savant says start 2 of Diaz, Cresswell, Dallas and Kilman. I mean, you could start Kilman. You never know your luck. Diaz and Dallas is the answers. Rishi says DCL and Grealish out for Salah captain on Watkins. Right, listen, you are going to want Jack Grealish back in midweek. Honestly. Find a different solution. I'd rather sacrifice one of the premiums at the moment, honestly. Like a different premium, like a Bruno or a De Bruyne. If you're that insistent on you want to get Salah, you will want Jack Grealish back this coming game week, I'm telling you. Would not be selling him. Sagnick says, hi James, hope you're doing well. Congratulations on finishing 3rd in the FCAs. Love your podcast. We finished 3rd. Everyone told me we finished 2nd. Jay Lodge, play Tellez, Brewster or Souček? Tellez has got to be doubtful, wasn't he? Brewster or Souček? Fuck me. I think I'd play Souček on that one. Anna says, hi James, should I bench Jota or DCL? Bench Jota. Vabe thanks James. GLHF, I don't know what that means, but cheers. Hope it's not offensive. FPL Cricketer, repeat from, I'm old, just let me go. FPL Cricketer, repeat from the last stream. Hi James, bench Headache, bench 1, Reece James, Diaz, Dyer, Jota, Watkins. It's going to be Jota now, isn't it? Ross Harrison, evening James, would you play Torres or DCL? You know the answer already, Ross. It's play DCL. Martin Boyle, you need a play the forward written below the captaincy picks. Thank you very much, Martin. Super Tiger, bench 1 of Jesus, Mahrez or DCL. Mahrez, mate. To be honest, Jesus. He's got to be a pain in the arse if you own Jesus, honestly. You're very welcome, J23. FPL Soccer Crazy. Hi, James. I don't think your son agrees with your transfers. Apologies for the disturbance from my son, and apologies for those for the first stream dying on its fucking arse. I hope this one's been okay so far. Apologies. Kent Log, if you had both Mane and Salah, who would you captain this week? Salah. Screen, bottom right hand corner. William Jones, I know you have answered it, James, but would you mind playing Diaz with both Bruno and KDB in my team? Feel free to ignore it. Yeah, I already answered it, William. Have a nice birthday. Cheers. Ben AU. Who's more likely to return? Kane, Son, Vardy or Bruno? Also, Lamptey versus Charlie Taylor. Lamptey over Charlie Taylor for me. I don't get the wanting to play. Arsenal will turn it on at some point, honestly. Burnley always gets spanked at Arsenal, I'm telling you, honestly. Who do I fancy more? Harry Kane. From that list. Kane, Son, Vardy, Bruno. Harry Kane's the one I fancy most. Patrick Lawson says, notice Harry started crying when James said hello to him. It kind of happens a lot, mate. Wife's heading out tonight in half hour, so I've got to end the stream at 20 to 7 tonight. So we got a lads' night tonight. watching Leeds and West Ham. I'm just going to stuff him full of food and hope he falls asleep. Another Hoops. Is Harry crying because he just heard another Hooter captain question? Possibly. Mustafa Hassan, Watkins, DCL, Wilson and Bamford. Pick 3 and remove 1. I'll be removing Wilson. Basically, I want 3 strikers and have DCL, Bamford and Wilson at the moment with 1 million in the bank. But I wouldn't be removing Wilson this week. This week, I'd stick with the 3 you've got. And I'd be looking to get Watkins in for either DCL or Wilson in midweek, depending on... We haven't got the information on Newcastle at the moment, Mustafa. Deep Knacker, Sun Captain, if you like, mate. Brett M, hello, my friend. Hi, James, hope you're well. A Liverpool defensive assets like Rob are a shout for 11th on your captaincy list. So, FPL Captain, who does the graphics, I know he's captaining Trent. And I'd send him through, obviously, the list, etc. And he obviously helps me with all the stuff. He's a superstar. And he said Trent better be on that list. I said, no, sorry, mate. Trent wouldn't have been far off, actually. He wouldn't be far off. But I think the fact I put Che Adams there rather than Trent probably tells its own answer. If Trent had more games behind him, he might have made it there, quite possibly. Rebel FPL, hi, James. You sure have me tempted, captaining my planned transfer in Trent, all but tempting too. Happy birthday. Cheers, mate. Ray Karashi says, happy early birthday. Wish James, you Spurs bastard. Thanks, mate, you gooner bastard. Matt J. Mitchell to TAA for a free transfer. Matt, I don't think I've ever been more envious of someone asking a question ever. You can go Mitchell to TAA for a free transfer. We already have Robertson, and this will leave me with 0.1 million in the bank. My goodness. I think everybody should tag Matt and say, yes, Matt. All day long, get that done, pal. Sean Buckley, best 5 million or under defender. You've got Konsa. Okay, you already have Soufal, Konsa, Kilman. Think Harry stopped you seeing this earlier. Low, happy birthday for Sunday. Sorry about that, Sean. Maybe he pulled the plug out on the Wi-Fi. I don't know. Best 5 million or under defender. And you've got Konsa. Stuart Dallas. Stuart Dallas over Alien now, if Alien's going to potentially have a run at centre-back. Stuart Dallas would be my answer. General Vox, thoughts on Ings versus DCL? Question. Now even James is out, along with Dean and Coleman, and Everton's fixtures are no good either. Should repronounce that as James, shouldn't I? As in, if you were buying one right now, you'd probably buy Danny Ings, wouldn't you? I wouldn't... DCL to Ings for a free transfer this week. It's a gamble. Southampton next to Arsenal, Man City, Fulham. If it's just for the next 4 and you're looking to wildcard straight afterwards, I don't mind Calvert-Lewin to Ings as a free transfer. But listen, Calvert-Lewin, it's all about the delivery. He's going to have a lot of reliance on Richarlison this week, that's for certain. And Richarlison up against Reece James. I do not expect Dominic Calvert-Lewin to return this week. But I also would not have, for a second, considered removing him for a -4, unless that was what meant me getting to Salah. Jay Barker, Soucek to Grealish for -4, worth it. Thinking it could wait another week. Could definitely wait another week, Jay. Paul Castle, would you get Salah even though he played 90 minutes? I did buy him this week. Oh, please don't die on me again, you bastard. No, we might be back in business. Sorry, guys. I'm getting slapped all over the place here. I'm having a few Wi-Fi issues, which those who regularly... But I'm sitting here and I'm stuck. I hope that the stream holds for you guys. Apologies. It's 14 minutes to deadline as a reminder, guys. Probably not worth putting any more questions in at the moment. There's a good chance I'm not going to get to you. I'll run through these very quickly, hoping that the fucking Wi-Fi will hold together. This is shit, man. Rob Tilson, I hope you can hear me. Hey James, what's the puntiest punt you're considering pre-wildcard? Rob says, have a good birthday. Thank you, Rob. Puntiest punt pre-wildcard? To be honest, I'm really not thinking that far ahead at the moment, my friend, to be honest. Druv says, play Soufal or Dallas. I'd play Dallas, my friend. Cal, evening, James. Hope you... You might lose me, guys. You might stay with me. Really not sure at the moment what's happening. This is a nightmare. I think it's a nightmare anyway. I don't know if you're getting pictures. Can someone let me know if you're getting any pictures or anything at the moment? No response in the chat. Anyone getting any pictures? Ray Qureshi saying, yes, you can see me. That's taking a bloody long time to come through. I just feel like I'm talking to myself at the moment, guys. A few people saying, yeah, picture is stuttering. It's not going to be good. It's choppy. Alright, they're all saying yes now, but it's choppy. Alright, I'll power through this, guys. Sean Buckley, we did. Where was we up to? That's fucking ages ago. I had a lot of questions. Right, I'll power these and hope it hangs on. Henry Martin, Nico and DCL to James and Bamford. Sounds good. I think we've done these. Loads of them. Have a nice birthday. That I remember. Rob Tilson, we did. Darich H, why does Rodgers hate Barnes? I don't know, you'd have to ask him, mate. Edwin Graham, Fernandez and Mitchell out for Salah and Dallas, 2 FTs. Sounds very reasonable, Edwin. MD Medi says Captain Aguero versus Man U. I'm a stupid. I wouldn't call you stupid, sir, but Guardiola said he won't play. Cal, evening, James. Hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you. Cal, not sure who to bench from Podence or Barnes this week. Need to get rid of honest. Oliver Jacobs, Captain Werner. I have Salah, Son, KDB. Why is this stream so bad? Someone's going to take a gif of that, aren't they? Bench Podence, mate, but these Podence will probably play. Oliver Jacobs, Captain Werner. I have Salah, Son, KDB. I mean, I'm going to preference Salah. If you've got a feeling for Werner, go for it, mate. Tanzidur, still have more pay and transfers. What to do? Get rid of him, mate. Bamford would be the call in the first instance. Phil B, Sky question, mate. Best Rodriguez replacement, 8.8 and under. If you need a midfielder, it's dirty, mate. It's really, really dirty. Possibly consider Rafinha for tonight. Ryan Stubbs, not heard you call Jose he who picks the team for a while. That's because he's winning fucking games of football, so he can escape, mate. Savanch Singh, just wanted to love your content. Keep up the good work. Streams have done me a lot of good this season. Cheers, Savanch. William Jones, cheers, James. Last question, I promise, is this an okay bench order? Lamptey, Cresswell, Brewster. Have a nice weekend. Good 4. I prefer Rafinha over Harrison. That's probably the advice. Although I'd like Harrison as well, but I think Rafinha time is probably now. Am I keen on removing Son for this week? That's what you're basically doing. You get the gain of a player as well. If your bench is shit, Thomas, do it. If it's not, I probably wouldn't. I think I'm going to give up here, guys, because this stream is... Yeah. I'm going to give up, guys.